think we were getting here? We're here. All right, so we finally got some results coming in shortly here, but let's make sure y'all can see me here. I know I'm starting a minute early or something, so let's see if y'all give me a 5x5, see what we got going on here. And I'm Texas Babs, Jacob, 5x5, good deal. Y'all can hear me, see me, everything cool. All right. Tonight's going to be a little different, obviously, because we are trying to watch the returns come in. And I came on an hour early here because we've got some polls closing. We said Virginia, Vermont, parts of Indiana, Kentucky, and Georgia, I think, are the ones that close at 7 o'clock. So I've got a couple of screens going here that I'm going to kind of be bouncing around between. But obviously I can't, this isn't some news studio or something like that where I've got screens all over the place. If you guys see something that I haven't talked about, a call that's made or whatever, please let me know. Put it in the comments here. As per normal, if you've got comments to make to me, please put them in all caps. Guys, please keep this civil tonight, but I will tell you this, you are not going to hear me say anything positive about a Democrat. So if you're here for, yay, the Democrats won something, go find another channel. This ain't going to be the place for you tonight, okay? I'm just telling you, we're all trying to take our country back, and the more Democrats we see lose tonight, the better things go. So here we go. It is 7 o'clock. And we will wait to see if we get a couple of calls here. Some comes in. I'm not going to concentrate too much on the House because, I mean, we'll keep track of numbers here, but I don't know all 435 congressmen. I know you guys don't either. So we'll see what's going on here. But let's see what we got here. I'm just watching. Okay, yeah, no, they're not calling anything. All of a sudden, I'm watching it flipped over to the Georgia race between Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. And I was like, if they call that one early, forget it, it's over. Be interesting. I don't know how many of you guys saw this, but Guam, the territories of the U.S. do have representation. We do have our first call. Tim Scott did win in South Carolina. Oh, we got another one. And Rand Paul did win, or is called to win, in Kentucky. So not that either one of those were, what's this one? Okay. Young won in Indiana. Democrat win in Vermont. Welch. So no surprises as of yet. Okay, so right now you're looking at 37 Democrats, 32 Republicans in the Senate, because obviously we only have a third of them up for election. But yeah, in Guam, you had the first, or I think it was the second Republican in 50 years is elected. Now, Guam is notoriously very blue. Mind you, this, from the U.S. territories and stuff, these are non-voting members in the House. Okay, they're there to lobby, if you will, for their needs. They don't get a vote. But the fact that you have Guam flipping red is something. South Carolina Governor McMaster won. Nope, that's not a call there. Okay. No surprises yet. None of the watched races have been called. There was a lot of hullabaloo made about the Guam deal today. Sure, it's the first or second one in 50 years, but I think the final vote was 52 to 47. Okay, not a whole lot of people really cared. So it wasn't a big vote by any means there. So, but we'll see. Maybe, I mean, if that tells you something right there, someplace that never votes Republican, all of a sudden voted Republican, maybe that tells you that we're going to see more and more people that are sick and tired of the Biden administration and the Communist Manifesto that's been put out by the Democrats. So, guys have probably all seen Turnout was exceptionally high today, so that's a good thing. We did have some violence. If anybody caught this one, there was a guy who went into one of the polling places with a knife in Wisconsin and threatened to stab some poll workers and everything unless the vote was shut down. So hopefully none of you guys were there, wherever it was. I don't know specifically what precinct or anything like that, but that was in Wisconsin. Marty Preps, thank you for the super chat. This is going to be this is going to be a long one, so we'll try to keep some liquid in me here real quick to go. Okay, it's too early to say anything. Yeah, nothing there. All right, just trying to bounce around a little bit, see if, because you guys know that different channels will call things at different times. So I'm kind of bouncing around between a few of them to take a look at what's going on. Yeah, just kind of, and some of them don't make sense. It's interesting. I'm looking at Fox News right here on their map page, and they've got Kentucky and Georgia both blue. And the only thing I'm thinking, now they've just flipped Kentucky to solid red. That was Rand Paul. My guess is because that's who's leading. Like in Georgia right now, Raphael Warnock's leading, but there's 1% of the vote in. So, but as of right now, Senate-wise, they've at least Fox is called Vermont blue. Big surprise. Indiana, Kentucky, and South Carolina all for GOP. No big surprises yet. So we'll see what goes on as we go along. Yeah, so I talked a little today at lunch about what was going on with Maricopa County, with some of the counties, a couple of counties in Georgia. I guess Detroit had some issues. Minnesota had some issues. It's just, I love listening to some of these pundits who go, yeah, this election went off pretty smoothly. I'm sorry, when 20% of the precincts in the Phoenix area are miscounting ballots, and 100% of the precincts in Mercer County, New Jersey, have no way to count the ballots, that ain't running smoothly, okay? The funny part was with the Arizona one especially, you got to remember this, okay? Katie Hobbs, who's the Democrat running for governor in Arizona, is the current Secretary of State. So she is the one who will have to certify her own loss, if you will, as that one goes down, okay? But supposedly they ran a test of all the Dominion machines yesterday, and all of them worked flawlessly till 20% of them didn't work today. Isn't that just real interesting? So, yes, that is everything going on. Let's see. Running Warrior. If Hoka loses in New York, I'm going to want to sing Ding Dong, the Witch is Dead very loudly. Go Zeldin. There you go. Mr. JB 629. I'm in Arizona. Go Carrie Lake. Yep, there you go. I mean, she's going to be one to watch. Kind of like Christy Nome was a couple of years ago. Watch Carrie Lake. She's a firebrand, and there may be something in her future, 2024, maybe. Okay, sorry about that, guys. YouTube bounced me out all of a sudden. So let's see if y'all can give me a 5x5 again. Tell me if I'm here. All right, I'm talking. Can you guys, there we go, Prepping Survival Johnny Finance. Okay, so sorry about that. YouTube bounced me out on that one. Good, okay, got it. We're all good. Yeah, so lost train of thought where I was, but no, Carrie Lake. And, she may be a force to be reckoned with in 2028 somewhere, okay? a lot is going to depend on some of the things she's going to deal with. I mean, she's going to really buck the trend on the border. And, she's like, we're not having any of this. I don't care what the feds say, which good. Okay. Maybe if she like doubles or triples what Abbott's doing, that would be really nice. But the other one that she wants to go after is she wants to go after the media. Now, mind you, she spent 30 years in television news. So if there's anybody who knows all the dirty tricks that the media uses, she does. And it'll be really nice to see her call out some of the BS that's coming out of the media here. I'm going to blow this up a little bit so I can see. Sorry. Okay. Lisa said Bear got a strike on his channel. Don't know what for. Here's a guy who's out there helping people at tornado victims in Oklahoma, and they're going to give him a strike. Okay. Gee, Google, please tell me, how much money have you donated to the tornado victims in Oklahoma at the moment? Because I guarantee you, Bear's done more than you have. So, Jasper's mom, come on, it wasn't YouTube that bounced me. It was obviously Russia. Of course, because the Russians know that Mrs. P is here, and God forbid, Mom Survival. Thank you for the super chat. Just got a bunny hutch for free. That's good. You brought up the Russia thing, and I'll give you this. This is Mrs. P's second time to be able to vote. Her first time was 2020. Okay. And even today, in some of the comments, there was some smartass in there who says, I can't believe a grown man still means voting means something. And my answer to that is simply this. Imagine living somewhere where you have no say in the matter. Okay. Even now, look what goes on in Russia. All right. Oh, gee, I've got a political opponent. Let's kill him. Let's throw him in jail, whatever it would be. Okay. The throw in jail thing we hear enough around here, but I've yet to see Hillary Clinton in jail. I haven't seen Donald Trump in jail. I doubt I'll see Joe Biden in jail, even though we all know the crimes he's committed. We haven't seen Barack Obama in jail. Bill Clinton should have been in jail. George Bush, pick one. Every one of them has committed so many crimes. Dick Cheney, really? Okay. But, none of them are getting imprisoned, let alone killed by their opposition. But imagine living in a country where you don't get to have any say in the matter whatsoever. Even, the teeniest, tiniest little say in the matter that you and I all have, okay, is still more, at least you have the opportunity, rather than somebody come up to you and go, you know what? I'm king, I'm chancellor, president, whatever you want to call them, and you don't have any say in the matter. You're just going to do whatever I say. That's why voting's important, guys. You may not think it means anything. Go somewhere where you don't have the opportunity. You sure as hell don't see a whole bunch of people protesting anywhere in the world going, we don't want to vote. We don't want to vote, right? Ever seen that? Maybe in the United States. Oh, it's not worth my time. Again, like I said in the video the other day, you don't want to vote? That's fine by me. Don't vote. Just do me a favor. Shut the fuck up. You do not have any right to bitch about anything. Okay, simple as that. Skanes girl took my 93-year-old mom to vote in person today, Louisiana. Sweet. Good. Eagle Lover, Texas is Marjorie Taylor Greene won. I haven't seen it come across yet, but that's a good thing. If that comes through, that might tell you a lot about the red wave, because remember, Marjorie Taylor Greene is not exactly what you'd call a middle of the road candidate. She's very polarizing. I love her to death personally, but if the independents are voting for MTG, it may be a strong red night. Okay. Robert Bates says, don't post that people have won. Polls are still open for at least another hour. The only way, you guys, if you're going to say this, please make sure the race has been called, okay? And if you say, do me a favor, say where you saw it so we can go double check it, okay? I'm, like I said, I've got Fox on right here. I'm looking at Politico because I want the left side to see what they call. And then I've got Fox's map up here as well. So I'm trying to get somewhat balanced because, we could get a real close race and Fox, which I'm still going to say leans somewhat right. Okay. May call it, let's use, I'm just hypothetical here, guys. Let's use Brian Kemp, Stacey Adams. Fox may call it for Kemp and Politico may call it for Adams at the same time, even though it's close. Okay. They all have been known to call races wrong. Anybody remember Dewey defeats Truman? Okay. They don't always get it right. Okay. How many of us went to bed in 2020 going, yay, and woke up in the morning going, WTF? Some 74 million of us, I think. So, but all right. So what are we waiting on next? Nothing new that I'm seeing here. So let's come back over here. So, guys, please chime in with comments or whatever that we have. Kim, Marjorie is bigger set compared to some of these men. She lets it rip. I'll give you that. It's funny. When I went to vote today, y'all know that I seriously considered running, and today would have been the day for my congressional seat. And Chuck Fleischman, who was my representative, all of a sudden I get to the ballot box today, and his name wasn't on the roster on the ballot. And I was like, what the hell happened? And I got home and I looked up, who the other guy was. Sharps Chapel got redistricted. We got moved from the 3rd district in Tennessee to the 2nd district in Tennessee. Now, it didn't make a lick of difference to me because I wasn't going to vote for a Democrat. I don't care if, Jesus Christ said he was a Democrat. I wasn't going to vote for him. But if Jesus Christ said he was a Democrat, we're all screwed. But so I got home, and the first thing I did was I looked up the candidate, and I was like, okay, pro-gun, pro-life, pro-term limits, cut spending, anti-finance Ukraine. I was like, okay, I like this guy better than the dirtbag Fleischman that I had before. So I'm like, okay, so this was a good thing. So it's like, yeah, I can support this guy, wholeheartedly because he believes the same way I do. Let's see. Buzzard Prepper, am I ready for the cold this week? It's about to get nippy by Saturday. We're supposed to get rain Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday next week, which I'm looking forward to. I mean, Mrs. P made the comment today. There's a cow pond that's on our way home. I mean, you guys obviously don't know where I live, but I mean, there's lots of pasture around here. Okay. I mean, and a lot of places have cows. And so right near the road, just before we turn off onto our street, there's this little cow pond. And in the summertime, you'll see all the cows standing in it. So we call it the cow koozie, okay, like a jacuzzi, but for cows. Yes, we're silly. Okay. And we drove past today. We were coming back from from voting. And she's like, holy crap, the cow koozie's almost empty. That'll tell you how dry it is here. Even the cattle ponds are drying out. So yeah, trust me, y'all ask me quite a bit about how the pond is doing. Yes, I go to court on that tomorrow. We haven't got any rain. I mean, there's no way I can do anything with it. So, Amir, thank you for the super chat. I tell you that you voted last week, all red, I'm hoping we have a good night. And Mindy, thank you for the super chat as well. I just appreciate you being here. So that's it. All right, let's see. All right, DeSantis is now leading. Rubio's leading. Okay. Yeah, Miami-Dade County is going to be very interesting to watch, guys. If Miami-Dade flips, if it goes red, forget it. It's all over. you might see 55, 56 GOP senators if Miami flips that bad, because that'll tell you exactly what happened with the Hispanic vote. I saw Eden, woohoo, just got in from voting. Twice as many people voted than ever before. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing tonight too, is turnout is astronomical. There was in 2023, or 2023. Yeah, there you go. Next year, in 2020, mind you, we supposedly had 155 million people vote, 81 to 74. Okay. It's going to be interesting to see where the numbers come in, because the midterms never have the same numbers as the presidential years. This year might be different. I think the American people are so pissed off. All the time I'm watching all this crap about, abortion's the number 2 issue or whatever it is. Blow it out your sphincter here, okay? You find me 1% of the country who goes, you know what? I could really care less about what I'm paying for food or gasoline. I'm more concerned about, whether Mary Jane down the street can have an abortion. Right. Okay. Farmer Robert, make my day if AOC lost. Wishful thinking with the New York Libs. Who the hell? I can't remember who's running against her. But there's signs all over. She's got some decent support. You could run a ham sandwich in the Bronx and AOC will win. But trust me, if AOC lost, champagne's on me. God. Let's see. Okay, scrolling on down here. That's nothing new. Okay, no ways thoughts. Just voted here in a small town in southern Maine. I've never seen this many voting in a midterm. Good. That's what we all want to hear. That everything's going along those lines. Just looking at some numbers here real quick. Yeah, Florida's got near 40% in, so and Marco Rubio's ahead. Not that Marco Rubio's any great conservative, but Val Demings is a raving communist. All right, so let's just keep bouncing over here again. D Van Eck, oh my God, I'm so happy I found your channel. Watching the TV with the sound off so I can hear all your commentary. I'm much better than mainstream media. Yeah, it's because I don't have a filter, and I'm also not paid. So it's not, you need to say this, otherwise you don't get your Zucker bucks or whatever it is. I'll say whatever the hell I damn well please. I'll also tell you the truth. So, okay. Let's see. Oops. Just trying to bounce around here a little harder tonight. Mama, Minnesota has not forgotten that Waltz let Minneapolis burn. That's good. Okay. Not that anybody's really expecting a flip in Minneapolis, or in Minnesota, but it would be real interesting if all of a sudden we had a Republican governor. Crazy Rabbit Lady, Trump making an announcement on the 15th. He said it so many times, I'll believe it when he says it. That's it, okay? And who knows what the announcement's going to be? The announcement, for all you know, could be, him and Melania are divorcing. Who knows? Remember, the guy's a self-promoter. Do I like him as a person? Not particularly, okay? Do I love his policies and the way he ran the country? Absolutely, okay? But then again, and I've said it before, I'm not voting for somebody I want to sit down and have a beer with. I'm voting for somebody that's going to make my life safer. This is it. Norman Holland, Scotland for Trump. There you go. Mike Underwood, Central Maine polling places were packed all day. That's good. I saw some news earlier this evening that, upon opening, you had polling places like in Georgia and stuff like that, 20-minute wait to start the day. That there was a 20-minute wait before the polling places even opened. So, let's see, we just shot back down to the bottom here. J Blood 63 off topic. Does Mountaintop Prepper have a channel? No, they do not. I keep telling them they need to, but they don't. So, it's a lot of work, and they know it. They see what I do and everything like that. They understand how much work goes into putting a channel up. Marty, thank you again. Trump reminds you of Ross Perot, which is interesting because Ross Perot is the only person I've ever voted for, and I got my first vote was for Reagan in '84. But Ross Perot was the only presidential candidate I've ever voted for that was not a Republican. Mama, we're still pissed about being called rocks and cows. Okay, I don't know that. There's one that got past me. I don't know who used that. Get prepped. Wish Trump would not run, but back DeSantis. He will hurt our party this time. Again, we're 2 years out, okay? And if you go back to 2018, okay, before the 2020 election, the favorite in 2018 for the Republican Party was Ben Carson. Okay, you look at a lot of elections, and 2 years out, you can't say who the favorite was. I mean, remember George Stephanopoulos and Ann Coulter, and when Ann Coulter said yes, she thought that Trump had the best chance of winning the primary, and the whole crew of ABC laughed at her. Right? Remember, we've all seen that video. You never know. I mean, DeSantis may not run. We may have somebody come out of nowhere, that all of a sudden gets hot at the right time. And, Ted Cruz may try again, or Jim Jordan may try, or, Liz Cheney. God. Yeah. But Liz Cheney runs, I'm voting for Biden. But yeah, I mean, we don't know who's going to run. But I'll agree. I'd like to see either Trump or DeSantis. I'd love to see both of them on the same ticket, because I'd love to see Trump win one more time and then DeSantis do 24 and 20 or 28 and 32. But who knows? Then like I said earlier, you still have some of those wild cards. You've got the Kristi Noems, you've got the Carrie Lakes. You got Lauren Boebert. You don't know what Marjorie Taylor Greene's going to run. There's 4 women right there that have raised enough cane that people listen to them. Constitutional Northerner, why did Trump say Klaus Schwab was doing a great job? I have no idea, never heard that being said, so I can't answer that one. Whoops. Patty Phillip, nobody has the balls that Trump has. And again, back up one step and think about politicians, okay? Every one of them, maybe not every one of them, but 99% of them go into Washington with the intention of, I'm going to get rich. Trump goes into Washington and says, I'm already rich. I don't need more. That's what I think set him apart. You look at the difference between Trump and Biden, for example. Trump donated his salary. Biden's the story came out this week that Biden was involved in some internet gambling operation while he was vice president down in South America. So, there you go. Maricopa County just announced they're extending the voting hours. They did get the machines fixed, but that's been changed there. So, boy, they love shooting this thing up tonight. Mary Hartman, if Newsom loses, I would be ecstatic. Wishful thinking. It- yeah, I mean, if Larry Elder couldn't beat him in the runoff election, he's not. I mean, California's toast. Forget it. Let Newsom run it into the ground. And you want to build back better. Use California as an example. Here's a once beautiful state. We ran into the complete toilet. Let everybody leave, and then you can, write the new state constitution in Spanish. And everybody can live in barrios, and you can make it Tijuana North, because it's all it's going to be left is homeless people, and that's it. Mary Lee, the good that Trump did for the U.S. is what counted. Yeah, exactly. Okay, and that I go straight back to what I said before. I care for him as a person, not particularly. Okay, did I love what he did? Yeah, absolutely. I liked very low unemployment. I liked very high GDP. I liked low gas prices. Those were good things. I liked the fact that the rest of the world respected us, as opposed to now where we have the rest of the world thinks we're a laughing stock. I mean, imagine reading the press tomorrow morning and what I talked about in the lunchtime video today. Brazil can count all the votes in the country for all the elections in 3 hours. We have Maricopa County, we have to extend our voting time because every 2 years we screw it up. I mean, it's banana republic. We're supposed to explain to the rest of the countries in the world, this is our nation building, how we do things, and the rest of the world looks like, are you kidding me? I mean, you guys are a fuster clock. Let's see. Silicon Valley CA, Trump for Speaker of the House. Okay. Let me explain this one to you guys for a lot of you who may not understand this. In order to be the Speaker of the House, you do not have to be a member of the House of Representatives. Okay. This is why this actually is possible. Okay. I mean, this is a long shot beyond belief. They just called Mike DeWine winning the governor's race in Ohio. Okay, DeWine's a slime ball, but at least he's not a Democrat. Okay, but that one is there. So if the GOP, when the GOP wins the House, they could nominate Donald Trump to be the Speaker of the House. He wouldn't have a vote, but he'd be the one that would control everything. Okay. Then if you think about what happens, then if, let's say by some complete fluke, that the Republicans get enough votes and there's enough Democrats who want to get rid of Biden and impeach Biden and impeach Kamala Harris, that would make Trump president again. It is possible. It's very not probable. There's way too many things that I don't think would ever happen, but it is possible. But yes, in order to be Speaker of the House, you do not have to be a member of the House of Representatives. Let's see. Melissa Rose, DeSantis needs to be my governor. I hope he doesn't run for 2024. I get it. I totally get where you're coming from there. And the one thing I want to remind everybody about Ron DeSantis barely won last time when he ran for governor. Now he should smoke Charlie Crist today, but he was not everybody's, oh my God, this is, this guy's going to be great. He squeaked by to win. Now he's done an excellent job through COVID, through the hurricanes, through all the other crazy crap that's gone on in the last couple of years. He's done a great job. There's no question. And, could he do it on a national level? That's different. Okay. Managing a state, managing a country, you don't have a whole lot of foreign policy decisions that you have to make as a governor. Let's just put it that way. Okay, just looking. Let me pop over here real quick, see if anything's changed. Nothing at the moment. Okay. So let's see if there's anything on the governor's sides. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. Okay. Yep. Yeah. Nothing new. Politico has Stacey Abrams leading in Georgia. I think it's too early to call that one. I don't know what the percentage is yet. So we'll go there. And that's too early on New Hampshire too. 5% in. Maggie Hassan's leading Dan Bolduc 2-1. All right. So going back to where we were with all of this. Jackie Perez, at least the swamp was exposed. They need to finish it. I'll agree, okay? And there's a lot of swamp creatures on both sides, okay? Like I said, Lisa Murkowski, Susan Collins, Mitt Romney, Lindsey Graham. Pick some. There's a bunch of Republicans that I'd be happy to see prune. We don't have to talk about the Chuck Schumers and the Cory Bookers and, all them, the Amy Klobuchars on the Democrat side that need to go too. But like I said today, we need a new generation of leaders in Washington. Get rid of the Dianne Feinsteins, who can't slobber her way through a bowl of tapioca pudding. And let's start putting some people in that actually can think. Okay, but how that's got to start is you have to have the public, all of us, have to get more involved in understanding what's going on. How Mitch McConnell keeps winning, I have no idea. Can't the state of Kentucky find a true conservative? How does Lindsey Graham keep winning? How does AOC win? How does Ilhan Omar? Well, okay, Ilhan Omar wins because Obama brought all the Somalis in. But, the problem is you look at even polls. A poll today said on Biden's approval, okay, was 42% approve, 56% disapprove, and 2% weren't sure. How in the hell can you be not sure? Where the hell have you been for the last 2 years? Okay, it makes no sense. Oh, gas prices are up. Gee, I don't know what causes that. Oh, food prices are up. Gee, I don't know what causes that. People need to educate themselves, and this is where I've said many times, this didn't happen overnight. This has been going on for 30 years with our school system just not teaching people about civics, not teaching people U.S. government. Michelle, thank you for the super chat. And yeah, kicking off early tonight was kind of important with everything going on. But yeah, I remember when I went to college, I went to college down in Texas. And in order to graduate in Texas, you had to take 2 semesters of Texas government and 2 semesters of U.S. government. Okay. So not only did you have to take, like most colleges, a year of U.S. government, you had to take a year of state government too, but at least you got educated. Okay. Of course, I'm talking about going back 30 years ago too, when I went to school. But, nowadays, ask your college age students if they have to take any classes in government. My daughter had to take none. I had to take 4 semesters of it. You got 0. Okay. Let's see. Keeping an eye, nothing, any excitement yet. Oops. Okay. Yeah, Robert saying there's a 1 minute timer between posts. No one's blocked yet. Yes. Yeah, it's I put that there, the 1 minute in there, guys. A, to slow down the trolls from spamming like crazy, but B, also so the moderators aren't going nuts. Let's see. David Glover, I'd love to see Trump rip up Biden's State of the Union speech. That would be funny. Let's see. Jesus, has anyone ever held another office after being president? I can't answer that because again, I'm thinking of going back into, the first 6 or 8 presidents. If somebody did wind up a Supreme Court justice or something like that, I'm in modern history, no. Okay. But could have happened in the 1700s, early 1800s. 1977 grad, thank you for the super chat. I do appreciate it. Big B prepping. What are my thoughts on Glenn Youngkin throwing his name in the race? If you're talking about throwing his name in a race for president, okay, he might as well stop now. I mean, this is a 2-horse race. Whichever one of them wants it, Trump or DeSantis has it. Okay. Was it Tom Cotton the other day came out and said, well, I'm not running in 24. I'm like, no kidding. Okay. You're just wasting your time and wasting money if you think it's either Trump or DeSantis. One of the two of them is going to want it. And if you don't think the two of them are talking, they know just as much as we do that they're the front runners. Running Warrior, Generation Z for Zeldin. There you go. Daniel Pounders, are the same polling officials still in charge as 2020? Same bad result. You got to remember, guys, the elections are run by the states. Even though we're electing federal mostly here, federal employees, Congress, House of Representatives, Senate. If you went to ballot today, you also voted some state elections. We had some potential constitutional amendments for the state on the ballot, which were kind of stupid. But, slavery was outlawed. We want to change the Constitution that prisoners can't work because that's slave labor. Okay, you don't want to work as a prisoner? It's fine. You know why prisoners work? I can tell you this because I worked in a jail. Because they get paid to do it. And everything. At least in Utah, you have to pay to go to jail. Okay, you have to pay rent for your jail cell. You have to pay for your food, et cetera, et cetera. They'll feed you, but you get a bill when you leave. Okay, these guys work because that's how they work off some of that debt, so they don't leave jail owing money. Okay, you don't want to do the job, don't do the crime. Okay, simple as that. But what I'm saying is, it's the states that run the elections, not the federal government. Okay, and that's why you see different places do things differently. Are the secretaries of state of each state the same as they were in 2020? Some yes, some no. It depends on who were up for election in 2020 and lost. Okay, so you may have some changes. Sharon Carson not wanting DeWine or JD Vance, but guess you got to choose the lesser evil. I mean, the downside is, like, I think it's Travis that puts it all the time, it's lesser of two evils is still evil. DeWine's a slime ball, no doubt about it. Okay. JD Vance, okay. But Tim Ryan is a dirtbag. Okay. Tim Ryan is, he's just a yes man for Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer and Joe Biden. So, August Blue, what do I think of Nikki Haley? I think Nikki Haley's passed. She's done. Okay. She really hurt herself when she started backstabbing Trump a little bit, and then when she started being very positive on this. I think she lost any sort of potential she had, she lost all the goodwill within the party. Melvin Worsham, California is going to fall off into the ocean anyway. Good. Just take the coast, because the people that live in the valley and the east side of California, pretty good people. The coasties, let them fall off in the ocean. Okay. Let's see. Running Warrior, Mitt Romney's why I'm not a Republican. Mitt Romney isn't a Republican, okay? Come on, you got to remember he was what, governor of Massachusetts? Who's it? What the hell's the guy's name? Charlie something or other. I think who's up there right now in Massachusetts. I forget what his name is. Talk about rhino. Romney is the poster child for rhino. And yeah, I voted for him against Obama. Why? Because somebody just said a minute ago, lesser of two evils, okay? Was I any big Romney fan? No, but I couldn't stand Barack Hussein, whatever the freak his Kenyan name is. Storm Chasing Gal, can Schumer be voted out? Yes, he is up for election today, and he was barely hanging on to a lead, only by a couple of points, as of the last poll I saw a couple of days ago. That would be like the ultimate shock if Schumer lost, but you don't know. New York could be very, very interesting today. Autumn West, Kentucky has had a mess for voting, 2 to 3 hour wait to vote. I think it depends on where you are. There's a lot of that in bigger places. Mrs. P and I went in today. Granted, I'm not in Kentucky. 10 o'clock, 10:30, something like that, I guess, when we finally got there. And we walked in, there were two people in front of us. We were in and out of there in 10 minutes. So, Aaron, are you going to be live longer tonight? Well, we started an hour early, so that would tell you. Yes, I'll probably go at least a few hours tonight. So we'll go to 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, depends. I'm not staying up till 1 in the morning or anything, guys. Like I said, I got to be in court in the morning. But all that's ready. It shouldn't be any big deal. It's like, okay, breach contract. He didn't finish the job. Here's the contract. Here's the checks that cleared. Here's the pictures of him not doing the job. Do we have any other questions? So. Any quick changes here? Nope. All right. Okay. Oh, let's see. Big Head Water Buffalo, we keep losing Wi-Fi. Chopper John Paramedic. Trump ran his country like a business, and that's what needs to be done again. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. Not that you can run the country to turn a profit, because the government doesn't make anything. Okay. But you can still be smart about your spending. But the one thing that Trump did do was he reinforced our standing in the world, and I know some people say, well, maybe it was because he was so unpredictable. All right. True. Okay. But I firmly believe Putin would not have gone into Ukraine if Trump was president right now. Sharon Carson, we desperately need Trump back because he was for the people and a strong USA. That's what why is it so difficult to understand that you want leaders who love the country? Liberals by definition hate the United States. That's why they want to change it. Okay. Conservatives, doing the same thing, love the country the way it is. We don't want to change it. Okay. If you hate anything so bad, you leave. If liberals hate the United States so much, leave. Okay. It's simple as that. I mean, I'd be perfectly happy to trade every liberal in the United States for every conservative in Canada and say, screw it. Let them all go up there. You know, I have to get used to that strange accent, but hey, it's just another one we add to the United States, right? Let's see. Broken Dolly. Five out of eight of my coworkers today, when I asked them if they were going to vote after work, they said they don't vote or no, that it wouldn't make any difference. That's sad. Then again, like I said at the top, just tell them for the next 2 years when they go, I can't believe gas prices. Did you vote? No, shut up. You have no right to say anything about it. Oh, I can't believe our food price. Shut up. You have no right to say anything about it. You know, simple as that. James Redden, good question. How long do you think it will take after the election before gas prices spike again? Been to the store today? Gas prices here went up 20 cents since yesterday. Went from 309 to 329 today. Okay. Just saying. Yeah. I took a look as we were coming back. I was like, 329. I just filled up the other day at 309. Yep. So if not already, tomorrow. Nicely S1, Nicely's 1, 90-minute wait for Fort Myers. Okay. Does that have anything to do with the fact that maybe with the hurricane hitting a couple of weeks ago too, you guys are a little still digging out? Let's see. Okay, I got to find where it was shot down again. Wow, I am way behind, aren't I? Like-minded, unhappily drove Feinstein and Boxer in my limo back in the day. Oh, why couldn't you pull the Ted Kennedy? So, Michael Lideker, how are the Dems winning? In some places, there's no hope. Okay, Vermont, there's no hope. All right, kumbaya, smoke another bag of dope, and that's it. I mean, but again, how are they winning? It's because of how uneducated the American public is. That's all. If anybody takes time to, what's the old joke? If you're a Republican before age 20, you don't have a heart. And if you're a Democrat after age 20, you don't have a brain. There's a lot of truth to that. Okay. And you think of college kids, oh, we need to take care of these people. We need to be friendly and we need to do all this and kumbaya, sit around the campfire. Lorelei, thank you for the super chat. Do I go to bed if I know I won't sleep? Yeah, I still try. But, then all of a sudden, and it's kind of like with my daughter, I think I told you guys the story. I remember when she was 9 years old and she was having a conversation with me about what the G7 was, and, then all of a sudden, she became this raving liberal and Bernie Sanders supporter, a few years back. And I kept telling her, I'm like, just wait, you'll change. And now all of a sudden it's like, Dad, this is ridiculous how much gas costs, how much my insurance costs. Guess what? Yeah. Now all of a sudden the thing, the light bulb goes on. It's like, oh, you were right. It's like, yeah. You do get wiser with age. At least most people do. Politician, ND 22121. If politicians on either side really cared, they'd make substantial progress to end the Fed. You think about all that. We voted for the Fed. We voted to tax ourselves. Okay. Again, this goes right back to the people not understanding what they're voting for, and they just go vote for it anyway. All the people that thought, hey, stimmy checks, hey, Obamacare, This sounds great. And it all sounds, because all they hear is somebody else is going to pay for me to have stuff. Cool. We all like free stuff. Nobody ever thinks about the part is how are how are the people who have to pay for it thinking? Oh, yeah, that's right. That's my boss. So what's he got to do? Well, he can either raise the prices or cut my hours. Never thought about it that way. Yeah, that's the problem. Kim, I'm so glad my boys are grown and I don't have little ones. I'd be in jail. Yeah, you and me both. I, I don't know how people are doing it right now, raising kids. I don't. The, I was looking up uh, the new congressman here in the new district I'm in and everything like that. And so I see the average household income in my district is $38,000, and I look at it and I go, how the hell do you raise a family of four on $38,000? I mean, you think about that, you break that out, and mind you, that's before taxes. Okay, so that means you're making a little more than $3,000 a month before taxes. By the time taxes are done, you got about $2,200 left. You guys know what the average mortgage is in the United States right now, right? It's about $2,200. Okay, so how the hell do you make it? Mama Bear living on a dime and a prayer. We took government in high school. I enjoyed the class, did well. Yeah, I had to take it in high school as well too. Was it? I remember if it was eighth grade or ninth grade, we had to take government. I remember we had one semester of government. I remember it was eighth or ninth grade. Please no Beto for Texas, Romy Davis. I don't think you have to worry about that. Beto's going to be a three-time loser. He's eventually going to run for office somewhere that he's going to win. Maybe he'll be janitor. I don't know, but I mean, I don't think he'd win an election for dog catcher. D. Van Eck took civics and economics in eighth grade. It's no longer required. Such a shame. Our kids could use it to become educated voters. Yeah. I didn't have to take econ when I was in high school, but obviously government and everything like that we did. Obviously, I took economics in high school or in college. There we go. Thank you. Okie Forge. Taft was a Supreme Court justice after being president. Okay. John Quincy Adams, somebody says as well. Kathy Little, one president served 4 years, then later another 4 years, but not. I want to say it was Grover Cleveland who did that. There was one president in between them. I think it was Grover Cleveland. Please no Democrats for Texas governor. I don't think you got to worry about that. As much as the Democrats like to say Texas is going purple, that ain't happening. Okay. And people are leaving Austin like crazy because Abbott is trying to flip Austin back to red, and they don't like the unfriendly things that Abbott's doing against Democrats. All right, let's see. It is 3 minutes to 8, so let's see what comes up next. Oh, there we go. Alabama, Connecticut, Delaware, Florida, Illinois, Maine, Maryland, Massachusetts. I couldn't read them all fast enough. All right. Yeah, we got a whole bunch of states shutting down here in 3 minutes, so we'll see what happens. Have we got any other calls? Let me look. Nope. Let's see if there's anything getting closer. That's not going to help. Yeah, not seeing anything as of yet. Let's see. Can't tell. Yeah, nothing new yet. So we'll see if something comes up at the top of the hour and go there. Janice Holloway, mods are doing a great job. Bless you guys. Mods always do a great job here. I appreciate every one of them more than they will ever know. I try to show my appreciation, but yeah, keep it clean around here, and I appreciate it because it allows me to do more conversing and less policing. Silver Dollar, what happens if the guy in Pennsylvania, if the winner dies before taking office? Is that spot rerun? Okay. Again, this is going to depend on a state constitution on how many different things work. Let's use San Francisco and Nancy Pelosi right now. Nancy Pelosi's on the ballot today. Okay. Inevitably, she's going to win. Democrat in San Francisco. Good luck. And Nancy Pelosi has already said she'll probably retire. So what happens? She retires, and then Gavin Newsom gets to appoint a new representative to serve out the rest of her term. Now, depending on the states, some states, the governor will appoint somebody until they can hold a special election. So, again, it depends on the state, and I'm not sure what Pennsylvania's laws are on whether or not they fulfill a term or whether or not they do a special election. Jan Rudd, Trump gave DeSantis a nickname, so I think DeSantis will run. Yeah, and Trump kind of got his hand slapped for that one too. Running Warrior, watch for LaRon Singletary in New York. He's good people. Okay, I'm assuming he's running for the House somewhere. I don't know anything about him, so can't say I do. Brenda, okay, here we go. We got closures 2, 1, and all right, it is now 8 o'clock. Let's see if we get some calls here. All right, I'll keep an eye on 2 screens at one time. Ohio was called for DeWine about half an hour ago. So Ann Smith said that. Kathleen Maddox, didn't know that about Utah. Thanks. I like the idea of having them pay. Yeah. Okay. 10% in New Hampshire. Maggie Hassan's still up 2-1. God, that witch has got to go. She was a disaster when I lived up there. Ann Smith, Nikki Haley is one of the young leaders for the World Economic Forum. Yes. There's another one. I mean, like I told you too, if you look, Maria Bartiromo is too. People don't realize that, but Coral G, thank you for the super chat. Be involved in your community. I'm an election judge. There you go. There you go. Robert, Massachusetts Governor Charlie Baker. I couldn't remember his last name. Oh, God, Tammy Duckworth. I'd like to see you lose. Queen Anastasia. Andrew Johnson became a senator after being Are you sure about that? Because Andrew Johnson was impeached. You could be right. I'm not sure. Maryland Senate called. Van Hollen won. Alabama Senate. Republican Britt won. Again, no surprises in either one of those. Both of them were the incumbents. Nothing there. I'm just watching these. Running Warrior, lived in New York all my life. New York is very conservative outside of the cities. That's any state. I mean, you look at, Michigan. Michigan's very conservative once you get out of Wayne County and Oakland County. You look at Chicago, get outside of Cook County, maybe DuPage, maybe a little bit of Will, but DeSantis, they're just called DeSantis the winner. So that's a good thing. But yeah, you look at any state, then the city, I mean, even Tennessee here, Knoxville, Nashville, Memphis, all very blue. The rest of the state, very red. Okay. Pick one. I mean, I mentioned Austin, Texas, or look at Atlanta, or, I mentioned Miami-Dade earlier. Even solid red states, the cities are all blue. It's just because that's where poverty is more often than not. And, for 50, 60 years, ever since LBJ saying, I'll have these N words voting Democrat for the next 100 years, Massachusetts Governor Healy won. That one was just called. Maryland Governor Moore, Democrat again. That was just called. That's okay, nothing there. Recycled cottage and garden. I'm a bit late. You see where Pelosi may decide to retire because of the attack on Paul. She's going to use that as an excuse, but she was talking about retiring even before he was attacked. I mean, she's older than freaking dirt, but and I mean, she just lost the House again. Congratulations, Nancy. Twice you've lost control of the House. But yeah, I mean, she was going to leave. Kay Ivey won Alabama governor. That's no change. Bill Lee won here in Tennessee. No big surprise. Vermont governor, still Republican, which is a surprise, but he was the incumbent, so there's no change there. So we have yet to see any battleground state decisions made or anything like that. Results come in. So we'll just keep watching. Kim says, I'm in South Central Kentucky. I walked right in, but it was full. There you go. Okay. Porch goose prepper. I'm having surgery in the morning. I might as well stay up. There you go. Garden grower. What am I drinking? My Busch non-alcoholic here. So, Mary Lee, let us know how court goes tomorrow. I'll tell you. I mean, he's going to wind up paying me $600 and some odd, and that'll be the end of that. So, fortunately, it didn't cost me too much to get somebody else out here to fix it. But, it's the principle of the thing. The funny part is this. I'll give you this. So I was talking to one of my neighbors today. Second time I've ever talked to him. The guy lives half a mile away from me. And he was telling me, he says, yeah, he's going to put a garage in on this empty lot he's got. And he says, but, he wants to make it like a walkout basement type garage, dig into it, have it 8 feet under, because he's on the side of a hill. So he wants to dig it in like this. So it's about 8 feet deep on this side. And I said, well, I can tell you about an excavator you don't want to use. And he goes, who? And I pointed up the hill. And he goes, oh, Danny. He goes, yeah. He goes, I won't use him. He says, I had him build a road down to the lake for me. He goes, I told him that he needed to do it this way, otherwise it would wash out. He didn't do it that way. It washed out. He goes, I wouldn't hire him again. I'm like, gee, really? Guess I'm not the only one who's been screwed by the same idiot. Big Dog Ma, so you get to celebrate Red Wave and Court Day. Well, I'm hoping a red wave. I mean, it's not celebrate the court day. I mean, it's like, I just want it done, Sick and tired of having to fight with people to get them to do. I've said this to Mrs. P many, many times since we've been together. It drives me absolutely nuts where I've got to do other people's jobs for them because they don't want to, they want to cash the check. They just don't want to do the work, and I'm sorry, but I'm not the type that rolls over. You cash the check. I expect the work to be done. You don't want to get the work done. I'm going to destroy you. I can be your best friend. I can be your worst enemy. Your choice. KDK, I'm glad you're taking him to court. Yeah, I mean, because the thing is this, if everybody just lets him get away with it, he's just going to keep doing it. So. New Hampshire Senate race too early to call. That's good. Let's see. Mary Hartman, you're right about election day being a day off for voters. People will feel less stressed. Okay, so this is interesting. Now, my election precinct where we vote is in the local elementary school. Okay, and we do it in the elementary school gym. The parking lot was empty. Not that you have a bunch of fourth graders driving to school or anything like that, but there weren't a whole lot of cars there for teachers or anything. So, I wonder if schools were closed today. Don't know because I don't have any kids. Then I was also told that I was supposed to call the court today for my court case tomorrow to see if there were any changes. Well, I tried calling the court all day, many different numbers. All I ever got was voicemail. So I'm wondering if the courts were closed today for election day. So I'm starting to look at this going, okay, the city offices were closed, the schools potentially closed, but Joe working stiff, he has to go to work today, right? And then either go to, the polls here for me are open. We're open from 9 a.m. to 8 p.m. So if you have a job, you couldn't go before work because most people are at work at 8 in the morning. Okay. So that means if you got out at 5, you had to race home at, anybody around here, it's at least a half an hour nearest town to go to work, if not an hour. So, 6:30 or whatever you're pulling into the polling places. I mean, that's, yeah. Crazy rabbit lady. That's cute. It's like the Super Bowl in the United States. Patriots versus Steelers. Steelers. Only a couple of problems with that. Those are both AFC teams, so they never play in the Super Bowl. And I really don't want to have anything to do and say I'm on Bill Belichick's team. So that'd be the Cheaters versus the Steelers. But, I guess either way you lose. Okay. And we shot to the bottom again. Okay. Beth Holmes, I did not think I was late, but apparently I am. So sorry. Don't worry about it. We started an hour early tonight because of the election results. So that's why. CBS is 158 Democrats, 181 Republicans for the House, and 36 and 32 for the Senate. What do I see here? I see 36 and 40 for the Senate right now, 36 Republican, 40 for the Democrats, according to Politico. What do they say for the House? Oh, right now they're saying 17-10 for the House. So let's see if Fox says anything here. Fox is 38-34 for the Senate. Democrats. Maryland has been called for the Democrats. Marco Rubio, and then whoever was it? Alabama went red for the Senate. For some reason, I got Tommy Tuberville stuck in my head. Anything on the gubernatorial stuff? Let's see. Yeah, what you got going on? Georgia right now, 29% in. Raphael Warnock's up by 12. 4% in Pennsylvania. Fetterman's up by 74%. Yeah, that ain't gonna last. Let's see. The rest of them polls aren't even closed yet. Okay. Okay, back over yonder here. Let's see what we got. Pray for New York State. Go Zeldin. When have the polls closed in New York? I didn't even notice that. I think they'd be closed by now. Let's see if I can flip this over. Governor's results. New York. Where are you? New York. There you go. No, polls don't close till 9 o'clock in New York. Okay, so much for that idea. All right. Yeah, that New York's going to be if Hochul loses, that's going to be fun to see that crying show. Let's see. HJS video in the People's Republic of Maryland, there was no line to vote by paper ballot that I immediately scanned. Electronic voting machine had a 20-minute wait, even though there was no line. I'd rather do a paper ballot anytime anyway. Yeah, White Feather. If Texas goes for Beto, something's definitely amiss. If Texas goes for Beto, you can expect to see there's going to be bodies in the streets. Let's see. Yeah. Ed Pomey, Rubio's a rhino. Absolutely. Kathy Little, Senate is tied right now, 36-26. That would, I'm assuming you got a typo in there, according to CBS. Fox is calling Rubio. Yeah, we saw that one. Yeah. Beto's ahead in Texas. Again, remember that they're counting early votes and, all the stuff that came in by mail, everything. You're going to see a lot of Democrats have the lead. Like I just said, Fetterman's up by 74%. Why? They're counting all the mail-in ballots that they were counting all day. Now you'll just see those numbers completely flip. Not that Oz is any great shakes anyway. Romy Davis, can't trust Fox News anymore. I agree with you on that one. But I mean, I still got to watch something that, like I said, will tip a little bit, because I mean, what are my options? CBS, ABC, NBC, CNN, MSNBC. I mean, Newsmax and OANN don't have any sort of coverage, so I try to find something that's going to be at least somewhere. Morning Light, what causes cities to be Democrat when the rest of the state is Republican? Because it's where most of the poverty is. I mean, that's the problem. And the Democrats were, for the longest time, were always the party of the poor. Okay. The Republicans were the party of the middle class, and the Democrats were the party of the poor and the party of the rich. And so, the Democrats have always been, we want to give more welfare, we want to give more food stamps, we want to give more social services, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And the poor need those things. So the poor vote for who are going to provide them with the goods and services that they need. Okay. The Republicans have always been more for the working class, and, the Democrats have always tried to be, Robin Hood, rob from the rich and give to the poor. Linda Bopp, what's happening in Pennsylvania? Let's see if I go look at it again here real quick. The only thing we know still is Fetterman is up in the Senate race, and if I look at the governor's race, it didn't see anything in Mastriano. Pennsylvania, where we are. Pennsylvania, yeah, see, again, you're talking about 4.5% in, and Shapiro's up 88-10. So, again, this is all counting of mail-in votes and stuff like that. Brandy F, it'll be a long night. Have a drink. I've got this. I do have one sitting in front of me, but it's still not opened. So, because I got a backup of this here, too. By the time I get through them, it'll be warm. Let's see. Okie Forge, 2 Virginia House districts are going red. Let me see if I can look at this, depending on where they are. If they're on the east side, that would be interesting. No, where do I go to look at the map? No big surprises right now in Virginia. I mean, very red on the west side, blue in the northern point, near DC, so that's not a surprise. Yeah, nothing surprising there as of yet. Let's see. Amish at heart, husband and son still standing in line, been there since 6:30 in Illinois. Okay, so it's what, 7:30 now there in Illinois? Yeah, so they've been there for an hour. They called Pritzker the winner, the governor of Illinois? Seriously? Who called that? Let's see. That's interesting. Fox isn't even showing the race. Yeah, let's see. Politico's called Illinois. Yeah. Pritzker 62 to 35 right now with 3% of the vote in. We'll see. Statistics, go figure. Massachusetts, Maryland, Tennessee, Alabama. Yeah, it's all right. So we still have no big surprises. Or not even, I'm not saying big surprises. We have none of the neck and neck ones called yet. All right. Does Arkansas close at 8:30? Is that I believe there's one state that closes at 8:30. Yeah, Arkansas closes at 8:30. Okay. There's no big surprises coming out of that. Let's see. Joyce Forby Abrams is in the lead according to NBC News. Yeah, and again, don't worry about some of those close ones as of yet, because they're counting all the absentee ballots, the mail-in votes, and stuff like that. Well, they've already got all those, so they've been counting those all day, where they're already in boxes ready to go. The rest of the stuff is still coming in piecemeal. Yeah, it's just what we need to see a couple of these tip red, and if we see that, then we have a good idea where the rest of the country is going to start falling. But don't anybody expect to know much. Certainly tonight, and probably there's going to be plenty still that we don't know in the morning. Michaela Camberos, polling places in Pennsylvania were running out of paper. It dumbfounds me how they can run out of anything. I mean, I get it if it's in Reno, Nevada, where there's a blizzard going on or something like that and the power goes out. Those I understand. That's God, okay? But not having enough paper, okay? Your Secretary of State needs to be fired. Tosif Ucht, my stomach is churning thinking about Washington State tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a while till we hear the West Coast stuff come in. But, be interesting to see what happens in Washington and Oregon. So, let's see. Yeah, just shot again. Towboat Dave, thanks for taking one for the team and watching this for us. I get my info from you. Yeah, I'm very interested in what's going on. Old Coyote, what's happening in Oklahoma? Let's see. I don't think, yeah, see, polls. Oh, polls did close. There is nothing in the governor's race yet. Do you have anything on senators in Oklahoma? No, it's not. Nope. Oh, wait a minute. Nope. Nothing for there. House races. I mean, obviously everything. Yeah, there's no surprise. There's nothing in the governor's race and nothing I'm seeing. No Senate races and nothing I'm seeing that's a battleground for the House. So as of yet, nothing. Mama Bear, any going on in Arizona? We won't know that the polls are still open. They won't say, you won't hear anything about that until the polls close. LC, thank you for the super chat. It says Texas polls open till 8, but as long as in line by 7:59 will count, 2 hour plus lines. So may take past till 10. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. Eagle Lover, if Beto takes Texas, I'm taking you up on Thanksgiving and not leaving. Ma Bear 1900, praying for a red win in Oregon. It's definitely time. It's going to be interesting. Ooh, especially for some of those West Coast states, because that means you're going to have Democrats cross the lines. Because, you know, and I can't see how some won't, especially like in Portland and stuff like that after what happened a couple of years ago. You know, really, we want more defund the police. Hey, burn down my house. Come on, let's go. Sarah F. says headlines in Pennsylvania point to polls in Luzerne County to remain open until 10 o'clock after voting problems. Catgirl66, where can you move that you'll be safe until the next election? I hear Alaska's beautiful in the summer, but yeah, nowhere. I mean, nowhere in the world at this point. Well, Katie 27320, they just called McMaster's as the winner in South Carolina. Okay. Interesting. Florida, Fox is showing right now that Miami-Dade County voted for Rubio, believe it or not. That could be very, very telling. Let's see. Sorry. Long day. D Frico won Fetterman versus Biden talking about anything. God, can you imagine that debate? It'd be like, both of them get a dribble cup. Scottish Urban Prepper, thank you for the super chat. Fingers crossed you win the House and Senate and bring some of the madness that the Democrats are voting through. Yes, no kidding. Vicino Victor, how's Michigan? I don't think the polls have closed yet. When do the polls close? No, polls in Michigan closed at. Oh no, they must have closed at 8 o'clock. Okay. Well, let's see if we have. I mean, the governor's race in Michigan is certainly something that everybody wants to know about. Let's see if we can find anything on it. Yeah, no numbers in from Michigan whatsoever yet. Let me just double check over here. Oh, no, take it back. Okay. Fox has got some numbers on Michigan, 3% in, and Whitmer's up by 50,000 votes right now. But again, we're still talking about mail-in ballots and that sort of stuff. So too early to call on those. Shivo 061944, thanks for being my updates while I'm making dinner for the family. There you go. No problem. Phyllis Milligan says Truth Social's been doing updates all day. Yep, Arkansas closes here in 1 minute. Pretty much the only thing we're going to find out Arkansas is Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going to be the new governor. So that won't be a surprise. Harvaline Colgan, oh my God, if Abram wins Georgia, I'm going to try to freaking move. I don't think she will. I think that she'll probably lose by 5 or 6 points. It's not going to be close. She'll never concede defeat, but let's see. Well, they close. Elaine Prudence says they close at 9 in Michigan. Okay. What makes sense? Hi, Mr. P. Are you feeling better? Yeah, I'm 98%, 99% here. Let's see. Okay, just kind of watching. LC says we picked up 4 out of 5 new seats in Florida. Just gonna, yep. John Boozman won in Arkansas. That's no big surprise. He's incumbent Republican, picked Senate, so we're there. Is that all they're going to talk about? Yep. Nope. Sarah Huckabee Sanders, they called that for governor. Yep. No big surprise there either. Smith's World Homestead Life. I'm busy canning food while watching this, devoting coming in and listening to you guys. I'd say, okay, canning. I was like, my canner's been put up for the better part of a month already. So let's see. Jim R., any word on UPS, LV, and SV going offline this evening? No, I have not heard anything other than what I told you guys about before. I mean, it wasn't like that even made the news. So the only thing that was information that I got from somebody who worked at the post office. All right. Let's see. Let's take a look and see if we got anything else. All right. Politico is saying the Democrats are up 40 to 37 in the Senate right now. Though they're not, I mean, unless they're using those numbers saying Fetterman won, Warnock won. All right. So for Georgia right now, Warnock's up 8% on Herschel Walker with 35% of the vote in. And it's there 5% in Pennsylvania, so we don't have anything close yet. Let's see if we got anything over here. Fox is still saying 38-35. So nothing there. Do we have any numbers? Somebody asked about North Carolina. Almost 50% in. Beasley is up by about 130,000 votes. 13% in New Hampshire. Maggie Hassan's up by about 20,000, which is significant right now because there's only 80,000 some odd votes counted. Ohio, J.D. Vance and Tim Ryan, 27% in. Tim Ryan's up by about 175,000 votes, 13%. Those are the big ones. Yeah, just looking to see. We got half an hour to find out. There's one that could be a wild card for any of you guys that live in Colorado. Be interested here between O'Day and Bennett. What's going on there? There's been little bits of talk here this week that the Senate race in Colorado is closer than anybody's really been calling, that Bennett might lose. I mean, not that it was a probability or anything like that, but it was a possibility. Okay. Angel Dupree, roses are red, violets are blue. Pinball, if you ran, I'd vote for you. Bobby Garza, we're putting up hard red wheat while listening. There you go. And Tracy Goralchak, we like Dr. Oz now. I was not a fan, but I listened to his values and common sense. Just make sure he's not talking up a big game. He's got a bad tendency to talk out of both sides of his mouth. The Cushnet Prepper, where is the red wave tonight? We really haven't got there yet, and it's not that it's not coming. It's nothing that was, how do I want to phrase? Everything so far that was expected has come in as expected. We haven't had any of these battleground elections been called yet. So there's really, nothing. I mean, Democrats winning in Maryland, Massachusetts, and Vermont, or Republicans winning in Arkansas and Alabama is not any big shock to anybody. So, let's see. Benjamin, Oz isn't a vegetable. This is true. Happy to see you. Looks like the same red wave we had in 2020. See, again, you guys, I think you're jumping the gun a little bit because, again, you're trying to make judgments on 5%, 15% of the votes coming in and stuff like that. I mean, sure, there's some states where they can call those, but these, you're not going to call Pennsylvania until it's 90%. You're not going to call Michigan or New York, whatever, till those are very close. I mean, Ohio Senate, Tim Ryan's up by, right now, yes, to 175% with 27% in, and nobody's even coming close to calling that one. So, and again, they know what they're doing. It's like, okay, where are the votes coming in from? Well, if they've counted all the mail-in ballots, they've counted all the absentee ballots, and if they're counting the ones that are coming out of Cleveland or Cincinnati or Columbus or something, that's, typical Democrat strongholds. I mean, if they start coming out of, I don't know, can't think of another city in Ohio off the top of my head, but, Van Wert or something, it's, they maybe haven't got to counting those, and they know where the strengths and weaknesses are. Alan Martz, I'm hoping to get Democratic Governor Laura Kelly out in Kansas. How Kansas ever managed to vote for a Democrat for governor, I have no idea. That was a big surprise 4 years ago. Kit Carlson, even if DeSantis doesn't complete the term because of potential president running, it's still better than one day at Charlie. Charlie Crist is a freaking idiot. So, yeah, still waiting to see if there's anything. Yeah, what's this? You may get your wish there on Kansas. Politico is now, they haven't called it, but are now saying that Kansas is, no, I'm sorry, nope, take it up. Kansas is leaning blue, but Oklahoma is leaning blue. But yeah, okay, no, it has not been called, so no concerns there yet. John Sununu won for governor in New Hampshire, Republican, so that's good. That was been called. All right. Okay. Back to you guys. Let's see what's over here. White Feather, visiting with friends in Florida. They said if DeSantis goes for VP, they're concerned for Florida. You got to remember, though, when DeSantis came on the scene, nobody really knew who he was either. So I don't know who's on the bench in Florida. Come on, it's hard enough. I know enough about governors and senators and everything like that. I certainly can't know who the backups are. You know, it's like, okay, pulling all these names, like, how the hell do I know all this stuff? Spend too much time paying attention to politics. Hudson John, remember, there's no such thing as a politician, only professional liars. Ain't that the truth? Let's see. D Freaks is, I guess Oregon won't know until the 15th. Yeah, we will see. Yeah, God, running warrior, please God, don't let DeSantis's backup be Tom Brady. What is it with, I mean, who is it? I saw it today. Anson Williams, the guy who played Potsy on Happy Days, is running for some office, I think in Ojai, California. And then, oh God, was it the kid from the Wonder Years? I think he was the other one running or whatever. I'm like, maybe it wasn't him. I don't remember. But there's somebody else. I'm like, okay, anybody can run. I give it that. But what do you stand for? It's like you come up and go, well, back when I was on Happy Days, nobody cares, Sweet Potato, did Beto just throw in the towel? I haven't heard anything on that yet. I doubt it. According to Politico, he's only down by 3%. Not even 100,000 votes, 1.27 to 1.19. Nobody's called it. Let's look over here, see if there's anything different. Tejas. Yeah, no. Fox and Politico have the same numbers. Yeah, the 9 o'clock closings are going to be the interesting ones. That's where we start. That's where things could get interesting because at 9 o'clock, that's when we find out where Michigan, New York, Wisconsin, Minnesota, Iowa, parts of North and South Dakota, Nebraska, Wyoming, Colorado, New Mexico, and Louisiana. So you've got New York, Wisconsin, some of Minnesota in there, Colorado, all that have some elections that go either way. Well, yeah, this is what I get for being up at 4 in the morning. All right. All right. So whoever was worried about Georgia, Kemp's starting to pull away. He's up by almost 100,000 votes with 43% in. He's now up by 100,000 as the numbers keep coming in. So, yeah, Georgia's starting to. That one will probably get called soon. Let's see. Here's one that nobody's mentioned at all. I'll take a look at. Huh. That Fox isn't even talking about that. See if I go this way. Connecticut. All right. I was wondering, there was talk that Dick Blumenthal may lose in Connecticut, but Politico's already called it for him. He's up by 12 points with 7% of the vote in. So just taking a look at that. Yeah. I guess the people of Connecticut still want a stolen valor liar, but hey, nobody ever said New Englanders were all intelligent. Only about 40% of them. Fortunately, it's not enough to win anything. There we go. All right. All right. Nothing new. There we go. Let's get back to commentary on from you guys. All right. Blessed girl, have a good evening. Cushnet, I'd vote for Fonzie. White Feather, thanks for keeping us sane during this stressful time. You guys are keeping me sane too. It's either that or I scream at the computer the whole time. At least I can talk to you guys about it. Let's see. Oof. Night Wolf Pinball Any word on Washington Smiley versus Murray. You're not going to know that until I think it's 10 o'clock that the polls close out there. So you still got over an hour. See if I can double check what time those close. What? No, 11 o'clock Eastern. So you still got over 2 hours till anything closes, till you're going to hear anything on Washington. Like-minded. Where's a cup of Folgers when you need it? If I drank a cup of coffee right now, I wouldn't sleep all night. Then I'd really be a wreck for court in the morning. But we'll get through the 9 o'clock calls, see if there's anything there, and then probably call it a night here because we're not getting anything huge, but we'll see what we get more in the morning. Vicky and Marianne Bradford, today's my birthday as well as election day. I love the hat. Happy birthday. No, please do not make me a cup of coffee. Please, no. Teacher says when pinball yawns, AOC loses a Tesla. There you go. Planned destruction. I should do long live streams more often. That you try to talk for 2 hours. It's difficult. Okay. And especially when it's not something that's scripted. I'm just kind of going off of what I'm seeing at any time. Let's see. Yeah, Lucky Dame. No, he should not. Yeah, I know. The mods are all going when I said shortly after 9 o'clock, they're going, thank God we're done for the night. So, yes. Okay, let's see. Misty Woods, what's going on in Illinois? J.B. Pritzker was already called to be the called to be reelected. I don't know what else Illinois had in the way of an election. Let's see. It doesn't look like there's anything in the Senate and the House. I'm assuming. Let's see if there's anything interesting. Yeah, there aren't even any races in Illinois that even Politico is saying are worth watching. So yeah, probably nothing changes in Illinois. There you go. Let's see. NBC says 37 blue seats and 36 red in the U.S. Senate. Okay. Summer Fun Guy says Walker's catching Warnock. Let's see where that one stands. Georgia Senate. Yeah, that's getting closer. Warnock with 1.06 and Walker with 1.02. So there's less than 2% on that one. Remember the other thing about Georgia too, guys, because Raphael Warnock right now has 50.03% of the vote. Whoever wins that, if they do not get 50%, you have a runoff in January. Remember, that's how we got Warnock and Ossoff 2 years ago, was because both of them were in a runoff. And Warnock is filling the rest of a term, so that's why he's up again. John Ossoff won his own term, so, you have 4 more years of him. But, you have a third candidate here, Oliver, I don't know who the guy is, who's got 36,000 votes. You take 36,000 votes and give it to Herschel Walker right now, and that would put him at what? Almost a dead tie. Within 1,500 votes. So, got to watch that percentage too. Just because somebody wins, if either one of them has 49.99, there's another election. Okay. Let's see. Whoops. What just got called? Okay, Fox is saying the Senate's 39-35. And I'm not seeing anything that's out of the ordinary. Yeah, see, the way they're calling these states, though, is... wait a minute. No, take it back. No, those are the ones that are actually called. So far, the Democrats have won 3 Senate seats, Illinois, Maryland, and Vermont. The Republicans have won 6, Indiana, Kentucky, Arkansas, Alabama, Florida, and South Carolina. So nothing is a surprise as of yet. Nothing that wasn't expected hasn't happened. Yeah, you can pretty much bet you're not going to hear anything about Arizona till tomorrow morning, which that one's going to be quite interesting between Blake Masters and Mark Kelly, that, and then Kerry Lake and Katie Hobbs. And I guess you also have there's a big Secretary of State election going on in Arizona as well. So let's see, what do we got? 6.5 minutes till next close. That's the big one. Yeah, I don't. Did I say New York was 9 o'clock? I think I did, right? 9 o'clock. Yeah, New York was 9 o'clock. Yeah, I'm surprised we haven't got anything out of Michigan yet. Right now, okay. Right now, Politico says Gretchen Whitmer's up by 10.6, so 54.6 to 44. I want to look at the counties, because if they've counted, yeah, see, okay, so here's the thing, taking a look at Michigan, for example, Oakland County, which is just outside of Detroit, that has already, where was it here? Saying Oakland County's gone 22.2% more for Whitmer than they did for Tudor Dixon. 33% of the count has already been called. You're seeing a lot of the other ones are half of that or 1 or 2%. I mean, Tuscola County, 47% favoring the Republicans, 7% counted. You're talking about smaller populations. Even Wayne County, which is Detroit, is Democrat, only Democrat plus 6, but they've only counted 1%. So, yeah, you can't read into some of these numbers yet, because just because they're up by for example 38 points for Tudor Dixon and Alcona County. Alcona County doesn't have nearly the population that Oakland County does, so it's statistics. These guys love to put it all out, but it doesn't tell you anything. We're 4 minutes to go here. I hope to God we get something called. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. Okay, where are we? Let's see what you guys are talking about. Stephanie Hartman, please pray for the red wave in Oregon. We need it. We need a red wave across the country. There's no question there. Running Warrior, doing a cannonball in my hot tub if Hochul goes down. There you go. Nicole Vroman, come on, Pennsylvania, we can't handle Fetterman and Biden both. Yeah, no kidding. Hard Styles, did they have another water main leak in Fulton County? God, yeah. See that one again. Walker in Georgia's less than 1% now. Good. See if he gets that caught up. Okay, Endless Endeavor said 16,000 between Herschel and Warnock. I've got to think the later these go, the better it is for the Republicans. Because again, y'all have heard the same thing I have, that 40% of the turnout is coming today, and it's very heavily Republican. So even if you got a 2-to-1 vote on the absentee mail-in ballot, 40% Democrat and 20% Republican. If 40% of the vote comes today, and this is always overwhelmingly Republican, that should be enough to get us that 5-point advantage or whatever that the polls have been calling for. So, Gaucho Pinball, you staying on for a while? I'm gonna probably go through the 9 o'clock call here and then call it a night. Just because we're not getting the numbers as quick as I thought, and the states that we should know, the ones that matter are the ones that had the problems: Minnesota, Michigan, Pennsylvania. Those are the ones I wanted to know about early that we talk about, and they're all extending hours and things like that. Carolina, Google's showing them light blue. What's going on in North Carolina? Really tight. Beasley, 55% of the vote in. Beasley's up 1.27 to 1.24. So there's 1% different between the two of them. So between Beasley and Bud, there's no way they can call it. It's leaning that way now, the way things are called in. Bob Bissell says, what about military votes deployed? They've got to be postmarked by today too. So, okay, here we go. Top of the hour. And let's see what we get any calls here. Do. I'm just watching. Nothing said. Yep, they called Chuck Schumer. He won. Kansas Senate, Moran won. That one's too early. John Thune won in South Dakota. So again, everything is as expected right now. According to Fox, they're saying 40 to 37 right now in the Senate. And let's see if they're talking about New York here for a second. I want to see if they say anything. Uh, 5% in New York. Kathy Hochul up 80 to 20. Now they're talking about Arizona. Nothing. Michigan, again, governor. Let's see if there's any numbers here. Didn't show any. Wisconsin, nothing. Texas, they're showing 32% of the vote is in Texas, but they're not showing what the vote is. That helps a lot. Thanks a lot. Yeah, so let's do it this way. Take a look at governors real quick, what we got. Oh, Connecticut Democrat leading by 11 points. Kemp is now up in Georgia by 9 points. You'll probably see Kansas called pretty soon. Kelly is up by 24 points with 15% in, so she'll probably do that. Maine is only 3%. 7.5% in Michigan. Gretchen Whitmer's up by 10 points. Kathy Hochul's up by 50. 7.5% in, 50 points. If we look at some of these Senate races, and we'll call it. Raphael Warnock is now up by 130,000 votes. He's up by 5 points. North Carolina is a dead heat right now, guys. 49-49. So that one's, nobody's going there. New Hampshire, Maggie Hassan's up by 21. Ohio, Tim Ryan's up by 100,000 with a third of the vote in. Got to watch that one. Pennsylvania, Fetterman is up by 250,000 votes, 41% with 11% voting in. I guess as they counted Philadelphia first. And that is everything. So, all right. Yeah, guys, I think it's going to be a while till we know much of anything here. So, kick back, watch on TV. We'll see what happens in the morning. But I think it's going to be late tonight that I'm not staying up for, or early in the morning before we hear some of this stuff. So, y'all have a good evening. Thank you for stopping by. Sorry it wasn't more exciting. Have a good one. Pinball out.